Juwekang Menketa Modigame, the Gambia Matters. With me here in the studio is Muhammed Lamin Ceesay, commonly called Ika, right? Good. Muhammad, you are welcome to the Gambia Matters.
Thank you so much, Umar. I was just trying to get into Facebook. I thought you people are live. Are you live?
Yeah, we live on YouTube.
Okay, you are live on YouTube. I thought you were live on Facebook, so I could see it. That is why. Thank you so much, Umar. It is very good to be here, and I am glad that you are having me today to discuss important matters that have to do with our lives and the lives of the Gambian people. So I am very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome once again. Na bi kajabe denamena that will be centered on the 2026 presidential election. Ngalone ko election will it won't be easy because ngajele party jamale fundikan na almost 22 registered political parties. Many alonko would be paid in kaji ko me mamang in election me alonko kana December 5th. Diamol fambe ke remember the coalition la kaji ko men be coalition form la le nyin kamara saji be incumbent ni babunda nyadil. But ni dare ya ju wata ko men la sabal be yemi alonko wolemu asembe mati. Ika NPP tara side do la president Adambaro me alonko abala third term le try ka purka osodo. United Democratic Party taji under the leadership of Sen Dabo or Mealon coming from 1996 kana fobi ani coalition me alonko form kan nyimbe point sabali me alonko ni jube ka jereko other than 2026 election or election to me alonko abe sonia mune mutla jeroti about this 2026 election.
Umar abaraka bake la nyenen karo bete ata bake ni ajibe 2026 konde ka fo mole nyamen doron. It is probably, one of the most important elections that this country has ever or would ever go into. Kato ni ajibe, bring 2016, bring bota 2016 Gambia ko nga Gambia kutola soto. Bari mimfango ba a qualifying de la komi nga Gambia kutola soto wala nyen 2026 election because ni 2016 jibe Gambia nol mang kadri fay coalition government o pour danko dronka ya jamme bonde Gambia no le fejjamale fo e ko mi yati nanding be ya jamme bonde kan killing bato e ko ya jamme be janne sanji moannim fula so wo kanyantale e ko ya jamme ye banko la resource personalized le o manyanna kala koteke e ko ya jamme ka soldier le use ni anim police sol pour ka wuli banko dingol kam ni whenever banko dingol finteta e ko be la balamba ya tande la fengol la be keri anim fenjamal so ni aje in 2026 election of anambe important la bake wala nyinti fengol mi yalan ko Gambia nol those are the things that they voted against in 2016 we still have the same issues prevalent in our governance system ni ajibe ya jame sanyi mwani fulala ka janga menol ka kanyanta but sang baro ma president ni ala president ya ay sanji tanga bole kala nin election o be sila wato men abe kala sanji tannet bari akala takatala sanji tande lu andung ni ajibe ba ke Gambia no in 2016 e kole ko ya jamme 22 leke jang so akanyanta le dole fana nyanta nala sang ni te yete min fali ya jamme la sayta ko fana bita tande lulu ibina jela or more than that because there is a likelihood coming a bit more than that then there is a problem so what in 2026 election would probably be the most important election that this country has ever done even probably if I tell you important in 2016 near GB sans circumstantial melbe banko kan benyen kuranta ya min kono tenting ni ajibe kuranta ya meta bari kuranta ya ni ajibe wotumo akake nyame anin zabe nyama mankele birim baro nata tonya kuran ko improved bari fana ni ajibe investment o min kata nawe kono anene manke nyim bango la history to isa fo jango nyako baro e kuran ko aya bete andile dina wodolti bari ate fana ko do min ke kuran ko to nyido makaje So wala tinandi in 2026 election abe important la baake Gambia no yen abe important la baake.
Good. So if somebody mentioned abul kono jambela long staying along from 94 kana for 2016 yeah 22 years. So and jambela comment sol men dino ni ka blame mi haji ko baruka di same comment sol wala men jawata wat ka fa ko mejene fo jendi wati because I na ECOWAS la several do jël mi alon koy ba won kan ka fa ko akana third time akana claim but still abida kan and I want so I found diamo ka fa ko ko nyaton ka e kala fle nimmo be keta e smo ko nyaawani mo be keta like idingoti and kabiring adingo bot nan tamolo no malon fay kawol ko ka jël mostly ala video di ka dingol jako so wo même science solid. Secondly, in India, I'm talking about jambala maybe brutality and if you can be disinol ko men ko ya mention nyame. So will you point a barola fen ko nyin itana compare no. Kaje ko because jambala time aka soldier use la police on PIU. But baro the same thing akunda ko mboli jikam baro kana be paral use kan abe police use kan in soldier rule against banku dingol. You can understand. So ni nata mo ka diam development wala sa aerial men ko ya fa nyame corona karo ate ko do ndu liggey ndol mo wudun liggey. So for most agino okay auto baro e improvement no kele usari winning no 26 election no wala to most agino ko the similarities are ninja men soto o say a vote out no le wala usana no mole vote against him in 2026 election.
Okay, même beje follow coming jamme ka fengol mil fo dunga ning sa mel ka fo ndana ke be mu kilinati ni jamme jibe no aka tandi banko dingol la ko men de ata ate wala be kala abe tarra janne fo wato men diata and all that 2016 Gambia nol nate ka futa nyoma iko ya jamme ko mem fo manyan na kafo aka kol men ke manyan na kala in summary Gambia nol nyina fo in 2016 aka nyinke amanyinke in summary ya memfo aka memfo amanyan na kala aka menke amanyan na kala wala tin ko fale moyke kamelo nata la ba fale mo nyinka tambiri ya fale mo nyinke yete menke je ye do bondi menna sayta fanan koleke
wala men tambita wala
katum ni ajibe baake ajakalo warta ani ku ya warta baake ni sain president ko memfo aning biring abe mo la vote sol nyinga aka memfo aning ate benu njang ya jamme ka memfo ate fonko mel manyana fola sain ka president jaka lo aka fo mo len tanal be janne fo wati dode abuka fo mo le wende aka fo jannal be janne fo wati do bari wati do isa jay nana aka fo mo le ko haninde fo ngol mansi abe bannale bari bajala wati do ay fenti nan kotenka ya fo mo le kotenke tanal be janne fo wati do andum ita mo kilingo birin kete ke president in 2016 ka Yaya Jammeh bondi je iko Yaya Jammeh overstate ale atanyanta bola je le doye na wole tete ita ko nita nate ita to overstay ayolf ako aba make sure lale term limits yado aba make sure lale more security sector reforms aba make sure lale the security are no longer used against citizens and aba make sure lale man sakana law ka kumatili mbolo fo banku dingole anyul lef bari ni ajibe science and wakili wala bekeka just some days ago is it a week ago for la little lomba fata ta mena open ba akafo mole ko falola fitifito buka na tulo tala fabe ala opponent no la bang fabe Gambia no la anyanta ka findi la yo clarify because ni halo opposition party jibe Gambia no lebe party to political party you know ni jibe Gambia no lebe de so ni o Gambia no ko nyin manda takam banko kan man sayeta lote ko falola fitifito bugana tulotala
who are you referring to
are you now telling the Gambian people that I'll say complain nyawanya ndanal bejan as a president?
It could be.
Probably. That is what he means. But in there, miracle, as a president, when a nation is facing this kind of crisis, a crisis that is not natural, crisis mi alonko could have been avoided. Ni ajibe mansa kunda economy be pump na we kono be adamo baro sita for B. Nita fintinda na banku dingol be kumbole ka tandila falola fitifito bukana tulotala. What is problematic? It's very problematic in the sense that science and tende bukan na mobile charge no, mbuka lano comfortable, mbuka jisuma minno, na cash power sang, mbuka service or enjoy no. Dolbe je wolka business leke buka la business okay no. Dolbe je wala business obe boy kan neman defense so sort. Ni wolbe complain ka ita nyanta menkela as mansa. Ya foyeko yin crisis membe keri mbe nyenne kekam puru ay bang.
Sapano ya go.
Ikamine kamfa. Ikamine kamfa because it is narek mu national institutionality. When they are not, delivering or rendering adequate service to the people, they have every right to demand. So need demand as man's duty is to come to the Gambian people. Yeah, for go. We are doing A, B, and C to improve your lives and your livelihoods. So kumol melka fo yaja meka melfunu mindiata he hanisa baroka wolef. Nana ta teleto abe mokile na jibela yo tele. Ndala soke no. Ndasa na Facebook mala no lengo okay. Because mola life tente bulu Gambia. But the president
and
from
they're giving people out paying you.
And every moment that in the joke and tell na Facebook o yele mindiata nyangasa feje as long as mam money mindiata nyangasa feje. But as the president, nda yemen fono ita to fono la. So the president needs to improve on those things. He needs to improve on his public engagements. I have stopped Gambian only suffering. I have stopped downplay whenever people complain. As president, when you have access to a microphone, just tell them that the government are trying to improve their lives, and then service it is stolen. Then Katari, Katara Fokeko, Hanisa internal bejanne. Allah, in fact, akona social media diamo matter. You understand those kind of things. All maninya. Ikav mola social media diamo man fenti nyante bala. That is wamu puruntelti komi ndala nyanto fola. Ndame manke president, manke governor, manke parliamentarian. But ni president ka the citizen o lalla complain o man fenti nyante bala. That is actually problematic.
Good. Ni moli le fango di la fese kaningala. So phone many along sometimes ni si de president wala ma bi diamu kan. Ikay fanyinin ka is he truly the president or not? Because aka comment equalmente eka jeli ko even dinu me alon ka be primary school ateo authorization wala kan. Ba jeli ko nka diam jumale because diamu ko mayala. Be diam kan jumale be tila moy kan anding it hona capacity muneti udlanyitu. Mostly near Moodle Diamo saying, if can you see Fajan? Yes, come here. This is found on Facebook. I bet no problem. Mude Songalala, but there's no to see Vakeno. Minister to see Vakenola. Because the problem here is, Wolman Banku joke and pre service mean dealer. But it a president, it a minister or a femdo, Banku liberty joker. And if you can mean go pre service mean live. So, you okay, no, I'm the gentleman Kedani. Yalo ini bitanya le bota kala ko be fendel fo le yalo ko be kam fandi le wala be mo ni la ko yandila comme ikaje ko an manke baro fo damati mostly ikaje le ibnala militanol men yalo ko muli aji ko men baro la mo ko malete na ta kele ko mol moyle ikaje le findi nya dun sikil ne yewol nen wala nyala mo kil na yalo ko mo ko malem society ko ne yenen e ko baro ma e comment but a last comment ngam fo moy against that I am fo mo indiko then Zemenkeno as a party, well, Nina Moy party member Frank Bell Cambet Yang Diam in those one doing in the back. So those kind of comments, for example.
Yeah, like I was saying, we are in trying times. We are in trying times because near Jube, konna manika kebal kafo nyamen wrong. Ninin kumado na rasu ko ne kafo ko indela kumati. Wol manke wolla kumati. Near Jibe because it's like a pattern. And the film of a pattern direct, it are individualized in the sense that ninte nita bebe group killing kono ndol mo saba nani lu ninte femfo safo no okay Muhammed lafo but nte memfo ite ko killing wala fo do ko killing wala fo do ko killing fo andu dolle kata so which mean nka kata la ka kata jele
do line
group woni nga kata jele so we all share the same opinions, we all share the same mentality across militant all me anko they are outspoken in a rhetoric and the president's rhetoric are the same.
Sure.
Are the same because ni president watata is it Kiang yeah. Biratata road inauguration ona bunkono akoye ko mandinga sate loose they build atalafu very unfortunate so ala mama Jabi would insult everybody. I don't want to mukala fika for okay Sidinjai recently you know I leak video le fin leak audio le fin da mi ala ko mobe amoy la même foji president yeah you know and so many other people that share the same views with the president.
I once heard someone saying ko ala the executive la hierarchical admin nying hakwe katara ko most of them are followers bo sonne fo la committee le kon.
Well that is for me personally I don't have problems with those things. All right, they are Gambians. Once they are qualified to be ministers, they can be ministers. Yala nga kukili na fana like membe kirin science and bring Sidinjai la nying fintita. Nkontanta mo bele fintita kafu Sidinjai mem fo manya na fola.
From all tribes.
Ha. So ibina jelal ko min tol Gambia jang tol buka si fatam fans tol man si fatam fans so long politician ol le ka dondi. Bring Sidinjai nyinke fulol manjakol surwal sarahulel mobe le fintita kata ni Sidinjai même fa manya na fola fa mo nyolde me yalon ko itol bola nyama bari siol be le fintita kata ni Sidinjai manya na kel so which mean manding kanin fulata nyola fulani surwata nyola ndol be len kile
just few militants
so wala tin nanding barola government kono you know it's obvious because ala advice ala fo se humbalo ay afole ako ay continue ako karim mu nyinde alo manya na bolo fon da ko bara afole so it's obvious you know bari nkonda bake coming mobe be kafuka nyomale katandi president la aning you know amonyo coming melka fo manya na fola ani melka ke manya na kela so you know walendal basically but you know I think you know we are in trying times. I think we are in trying times.
So, but will you say Barrow will really use the tribe to win his 2026 election? Was there any chance for any political party to use the tribe so they can use their win their 2026 election?
If you ask me whether it is possible puruka tribe use ka election or win numerically, I think it won't be possible numerically. Coming number because how would you ascertain how would you ascertain the exact number of Fullers or Wolofs and all that so when you take it you know that way man believe bari niatara comme iko fo politician ol ka use la ba hay ka use la kadum aka fole nka moy ika fengol fananken ka melije nka analyze no comme nyin this is what it is, I mean, this is what it is pointing at. But ndama believe coming, you know, mobe tribe use la nanka janka election or win. Momo tribe use janka election or win. Menkata ya jamela. Wala bekele la katung ya jamme aka sinangoleke. Bera siol neng bera sinango kumase la nga lose the election. So momo eka sinango ke ba wal eka fulol le nemba eka sarawle le nemba ba jele nyaal. So I don't think anybody can use tribes to win elections.
Yeah, that is in our question because most of our political parties, they solely use Kansai. Either Mariba Pranse la Sidola, I tell Sido Magam. Wallanto I naras committee men kono atande umulako debato le carnel photo wala already. Come baro come siba menke in Gifarong if I could recall.
Habani ajibe. ni ajibe ni ko political party ko like political party killing ne ko keja. In fact, probably I won't be fair to say political party killing ne ko ke. I will just say individual le ko ke jang me yalon ko ngalo ne be dame. All right. Ndane namang UDP la moja me yalon ko you know yields authority in UDP me yalon ko atata lo waka fo nyule ko al lantol kankatun tol munyenati mamirane na keta hanane na keta ngala sinya kilinem fenke is it the deputy party leader, that is Ajam Seka, was heard in a video saying coming, you know, al fenke al mandinka ya fasa. All right.
That's Seka is not a mandinka even.
So al mandinka ya fasa. Okay, that could be that statement is problematic to me. But see, was in killing wala ngamwe, and then I repeat correct. Probably kebala what? Alon ne menyan dakela. But the end. People make mistakes. Even though the mistake cannot be excused, people talked about it. I talked about it. But since then, fire fall. Ata fola. Katum ngalon ne womero mu molti mi alongo. She will not indulge in that kind of rhetoric. Wala na ake sinya kila make correct. But saying al nga jibe nyin sila dola. Mol lebe ja me alongo ya ke repeatedly. So welcome attitude let. But come atata nata dal towards the 2026 elections, ma mira mo be siyo use no la janka fensot. Momo ya use, you know. I believe that abe backfire.
Good. Thank you so much. For those wonderful parody or thoughts. So, saying Mina Daven told me the 2026 coalition. Alongo currently we have 22 registered parties. Many Alongo will be registered. I see the diam romantico Ceesay. But coalition, do you think I be working on? Because party will be the Yemeni along. One dol bafokan because you'll multi think on you salary free benno kando for initiative fin ne flag bearer from me alon ko parti tete me alon ko be nyumbula but be dal continuously for nga for election.
Okay, I think Umar, this is very important. It's very, very important. But ni ajibe follow nga electoral coalition tamu follow kata. The election without a coalition. Let us talk about the individual parties. Nkamoi, you know, hani wotu mu. Mfananka wo believe la soto coming coalition no da mare se president bondi noja. Wotu mu. Nka believe soto.
So let's follow falinta.
Yeah, afalinta because one, you know, look at it from this perspective. With everything that is happening in this country, you know, corruption scandals, you know, lack of accountability, nobody is answering questions, you know, Auditor General Bondi Tilimbaliakang, you know, Kamol RSK detained Tilimbaliakang, ka police all use against Mol Tilimbaliakang, Nawek. After spending billions on Nawek, still, you know, tribal rhetorics from the government, you know,
losing our institutions, privatizing all institutions because the government cannot manage them. You go to the hospitals, there's no medication.
The hospitals, you know, building hospitals and not providing the adequate, I mean, from medicines and everything. Shongo be membeke kam banko kam ni ajibe wala natande convince coming. There is a possibility that President Bondi without a coalition, because one, the majority of Gambian voters all believe that banko betaka nyama manta takanku. Imanta faila inkumbeno iba faila dole. Wala ma government no change. But you see, you know, this concept and mentality of only coalition will be the fastest vehicle. It will be the fastest vehicle. Akamunda komi ni ko nyako mbetama kambe se kambrika man ko mbetama la mbe futalal mbe melal bandinga motota wala be tariyala abo wala nyama. So about the coalition, you know, membe kerin sententing adiamo siata abalafa warta atilimbalia warta anyonene warta a dishonesty warta mol mom pareka honest with the whole thing. Munati nangofo 22 registered parties will be registering officially. Out of these 22 registered parties, now start local government, council election. Out of these 22 registered parties, party jel like a council for a ward, party jel like a field for elections. Just few. Maybe abuka tambi 5 or 6. Wala ka council field. Wo 5 or 4 maybe fula beta raje mi alon ko council be min fon field la ma fo ila council buka winde be min dundi la election at a 10 seat. Party de you register ta ngabo council mil be at the bottom of the ladder. Let's go to the parliamentarians. Parliamentarian wo party 22 be kono mo jël like a parliamentarian field for elections. Few. Let's say 5 again. But we 5 or 4 fula better row 5 or kono mi alan ko they don't even fill in 10 candidates. Let's go to the chairmanship and the mayor. Party will be kono kote ke jumale ka candidate will fill. Few kote let's say 5 or 5 or 4 kono. In fact, the last elections for Brikama Area Council, NPP, UDP, and PPP, I think. Na Boy Obama. All right. In Kanifim municipality, Taliban Suda, Bakari Baj. In Mansakonko Area Council, Landing, Aningala Opponeno. Okay. Base Fanang opponent fula. Banjul opponent fula. Mo fula. Janaf mo fula ikafa nyadi la fango NBR mo fula. Jana Base Area Council mo fula.
So it was only Brikama Sabasotaji.
If I am not mistaken, Woleketa. NPP, UDP, Nindo Mandingo Bala fango. PPP, GDC,
PDI.
Doi. Woleka contest no. Wal fango de Doi near candidate will field, near field for parliamentary election, near field, probably at a 10 seat. GDC this year, ngamre tolye candidate will back, but imang chairmanship, imang mayoral, imang fair contest.
I mean, take back other parties or independent.
But he don't let back. So Nina to fanan GB saying yet our parliamentary election, parliament. The same thing. So ngamurun nang kotenge from fielding in candidates for elections to now having representatives
In those
representing the party in both the local government and the parliament. Council, the Tara Brikama Area Council. GDC a candidate jealous. Ye council jealous of the Malong, but in Alon Namantambi Lulu. Lulu Siat, Amat Sabasi, maybe. Saba wala fula. Nitara kanifin. Probably iman sabasi mamira fanga beje. Banjul sa yenyele beke. GDC Doi. Probably. Walfang ka trial de ka contest. And given their history and their past electoral results. Now look at NPP and UDP. Dominating both the parliament and the local councils, from councillors to chairmen or mayors. Wobeketa, say nata nan nko president o de asembo sotole nko president o asembo soto opposition o fongo itol fongo sonda iko president o asembo soto say bari ko de nimman kafu nyoma abem boendila wala believe be dol ko but dol ko hanim man kafu nyoma ni Gambia no lafta change la kile se win no lo konta believe ta wala nyame but say let's say mbe believe ta say let's say mbe believe ta tol be Gambia no be d'accord ta tol mi be opposition o be d'accord ta ko nyanta coalition o ke ha say nyanta coalition o ke. What do people mean by independent coalition?
Party-led coalition.
Party-led coalition. What do they mean when they say that? Nkala fika dola perspective will understand when they talk about individual coalition. Nka understand ko yemi mean by that is that can different party leader ebebe la kolotula la aside yetol jibe moma killing loya dabo fele mama kande fele esa fal fele Suhaibu Toure fele nyim fele so ya select dolko no party led coalition party mi warata way tambi dole yebula no niente nyininka nda subscribe taminala nda subscribe ta fengo fennala men ya lonko abe tonya sabatinde la minen tonyati tonya mu minti wala nyinti ko nte nga chairman sabala so nga parliamentarian 16 ne so wade la councilor ndol banna kontila barite ita man parliamentarian so wala te parliamentarian fulala beta bu ita man councilor soto iman chairman soto iman mayor soto barinte fanam last 2021 election o banko be mol me yalon ko isita carte fayola banko be isita carte fayola iko ndol lafta president wala Adama Barrow bari ning Adama Barrow tejedo sulata ndol lafta lawyer Ousainou Darboe. Or let's even say, because the NPP, the Independent Electoral Commission recognizes parties. Let's even not individualize it. Let's say majority of Gambian will go after NPP government. But in the NPP government bota jedrong second choice. Alhamdulillah, first choice or second choice. Gambian will ikon na second choice mu UDP government.
But why and how?
Why and how? Wala nyinti. NPP majority of Gambian voters in 2021 karefa wale. Second, millisecond ta race nyinto wala UDP. So automatically wala nyinti I mean in summary wala nyinti ning NPP botaje lafta UDP.
But for modo fanta fono la ko ning NPP mantraje parce que no men be carte meni carte fay NPP sa fa no modo lene même ke
ni teje
ni NPP mantraje
ni teje la ha ni teje bari ka election o nyinna nomba yementan wala nyinti ñu le fosta ñu le second. Majority of Gambians lafta ñinela second majority lafta ñinela wala UDP. Third ko ilafta GDC la fourth ko ilafta doyela la the list goes on. Say nin coalition obe dedala nin coalition obe lola ndane na chairman ol nin na councilor nin na parliamentarian ol anin nin na 2021 second position anin nin na 5-year round politics iko ite me yalon ko ita man councilor soto imam parliamentarian soto ite ye fifth position wala last position yo leta election no itele nyanta itele electable ta itele nyanta ka tambinta nyaato ite ko wole dala logic nko esa nyadi iko ha manyan naka coalition ota pati me warata ko manyan na coalition ota la pati me warata yet equate you are democratic yamra tonya bo ko to ba tonya te ko to nindanin na million ita ni la $100 so iko nyako lafta na $100 so la million kan sa ke $1,100,000 but sa ndela ba determine nambe fengo min sanna no wokodo ita $100 related ita tam $100 di wokodo ko ita ba determine nambe fem min sanna wal anyan wo fengo nyanda min sanna wanyante ita la satisfy la ndamin ta million tido. That is the analogy. So but basically to avoid dishonesty, because one thing Fanamol Yanta can understand, nobody is doing anybody a favor in this country. Nobody is doing anybody a favor in this country. Okay, so we need to respect democratic processes. Nte bukala fika nying individualize. Nte wala nanka for UDP. BBBBB nil UDP ko. Lawyer Dabo. Ndolle ken na leader bari gatani election o min na no malla fi take leader hani say ngani position o min dam bole tala hani UDP yentele keje wala yetele keje UDP la nyantaka ke flag biarati katum UDP la party beso warata nyul la party beso as per the 2021 presidential elections as per the mayoral elections, as per the parliamentary elections, as per the council elections. So every narrative member around this coalition building, you know, I feel like coming more leba. I come on the comment wrong. You know, I can find there's this lecturer of mine, Minka from Nyoko. You know, niaje karamunto dinongol la kanyi lual de da wala tinandi. You know, I can for coming. Nyantale ha nga parliamento momo nyantata la parliament BSc so wala master so
just a favor
momo luade dala jama ni akoro BSc ba de bul wala master ba de bul so atala fa chance le create la fa so the narrative ni comme example narrative ni mbola nyam because already lo ko man sia ite you don't even own a vehicle that is in the party's name ila party la name. You don't own a bureau. You don't. Ibita adulato. Ita for as an individual. Ibita adulato. Nobody will even notice. You accept that. But now you are trying to push a narrative. Kata ndi komi ha. Coalition ba manyanaka. Fenke party ba manyanaka lead. You are now trying to mix that big party with Gambian people. Put Gambian only for her. Well, party le man left change la. But one thing I also like. But
yeah, like overfocus.
But one thing
because I think 2016 election there were focus ko ning usinu mantra surrounding nun election ning coalition inte ate succeed la because ya jele ko usin ka coalition jam usin ka stop usin ka block ni anat
well ni ante nyininka mamera wo muto nyati bari ngamra UDP call fanang are doing a good job in debunking some of those things ndamantari UDP you know so I believe UDP are doing a very good job.
Yeah, but maybe can be fundamental.
No, yalong is very normal because nyimbanko benyameng nimmo me yalong ko kuma kendo for party dola break afo ite bolet. You know, nda setar no UDP le na diata nya sama ngataraje. Bari man taraje mo be nda molde me yalong ko mo be nda la fakata dame ngatar wol. Nda yo freedom wol dim fangal. So it's not nda buka dali. All right? But UDP are doing a very good job in debunking some of those narratives because narrative wole me yalong ko niente nyingamba fa la tonyate because economic narrative women push it cannot sink. It doesn't make sense. UDP take 5 years round politics kala yela resources spend yela parliament also yela parliamentarian also soto yela council also soto yela chairman also soto yela fengo be soto yela structural soto political ke diamale fengo be kala ita ko waliya nana waliya fo ita me yalon ko moto fengo te ita bulu ila party fo moto soto waliya fo ita la nyanta kala leader UDP te okela. And then I love the fact that UDP is now preempting ñun mol me yalon koy kany narrative ci fal pousse UDP like hani ngamara kunu lawyer Dabo ye fenko ke I interview ke attend come nin UDP mam coalition on lead, they are not going to go into it. I love the position. That is the same position that I share. Because membeje wala nyinti ilaftaka narrative wala pousse ka attend come UDP le malla fi coalition eke me yalon ko wonten toñati UDP e position o men soto nin dole ya soto e bole stala ninte na million be mbuli la kemo be buli tata folante be men sanna na $1 million and $100 la be men sanna abe dialantele nga fen sa me yalon ko abe fe vola bali tata folante be 20 men sanna million be ndabul kemeda ma be tabul. So ning narrative around the coalition building ntefe narrative ni nyanda ka drop le. Let us be realistic for once as Gambian people. Nyi membe ke kante ngabe ke la Gambia dam malto nga to nyafo ngabe ke la jandam malto. Let us be realistic. Nobody is doing anybody a favor. Nde alon ne katiko pauselo la Dabo na lose tabi election wala atata ya a contestal the election lose or dimital de bari ning kura nde alon ne ko min nde am not living a better life than pauselo de nde alon ne pauselo bi hana sasata na lafta abite jaral America na lafta abite jaral UK na lafta abite jaral banku dol to mi yalan ko they have advanced healthcare bari nde to afford no la de nte nyon jamal me yalan ko fe ninga nyin coalition no nyi molman to nya sabatindi abe pauselo la batandila wala be UDP la batandila will be mistaken. The consequences are for everybody. So let us just be honest. For once, yala membeje coalition building kamenke Umar. Nimu patindi wot yale kamenke. You need to survive in the coalition. So what you do, the logic is that once you have a seat in that room to discuss, to be part of the coalition, what you do is that Ikela will negotiate into whatsoever you people are going to come up with. After I go, okay, until we know we don't have the capacity, not probably now party leaders and individual maybe I'm qualify, no, but the party does not have the capacity putting out all bit in a coalition discussion. So we want to make our point. And the point is that when we win, when we come into government, the party Albe more clean choose la jela that would be minister. Or Dollar Party, more lafta ambassador Sabala from there. This is how you negotiate.
Those should be agreements.
This is how you negotiate your way in a coalition. But if la party from ko biro talbu. Iko itele bekela wo flag behind. Things don't work that way. So survival o nyini follow minister nyini bang afo ko nde minister fulande lafta wal negotiate that wala look nde ambassador nani lafta wal ambassador nani nde lafta wal na patito na mol wid probably they can grant you that, but realistically UDP cannot give up their might to just any party. And then it will be important to also highlight some of the people that are very adamant, that are very adamant, mini opposition o nyinta ka fo coming nga mama kande atale no, but at a point ni la point man kilimbaki at a point is very very genuine, it can be very understandable at a ko because lawyer Dabo fintita ko ni UDP malli ñul date taraje ako lawyer Dabo manya no follow anyanta katale follow ye negotiate.
Yeah, I also say the same thing.
Okay, our point is very understandable. But in the end, still is fine because me at is fine is that ni amwe negotiation o wala nyenti nto nintale kana ete ni tae nana na kacha we reach a common ground.
Hapo ni te itafo. Andre mon friend tema follow. Mo le ben defana ko ameni alonko ni ben discussion ni fon kala. So it will be better ni ta da fo si de law discussion room mo nyinto. Membe usini bul ay tandi better than ya interview ay for social media. Because I work like governor ning governor ba ko mo ron man la parti man respect. Be nyaaw nyang parti because bos nga Omar mal mola comment jele I think kun ko mbol fon jube kon way maaji ko nek. Abi me fokol mu nyindi ko parti o de nyaaw nyang parti o be li respect ko deserve. So mo kana jikole parti o wartale fe ka fa parti dol be jutule la.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I said, I totally agree with that position. Okay, I totally understand that position. Actually, let me not use agree. I don't agree to that position, but I understand because in a perspective when it's genuine, they make sense. They make sense. Ka for coming, imanyan na ka preempt, imanyan na nalaya for ninteman lead at kela. They make sense. But like I said, ntefe, what is just the party's position before they reach the negotiation. Yela position wala make control nimmol mal lead ndol be lead la ndol le ba warata sombe lead la so ita fanan as a party if na yela point make aliata bunko na saying aliya kacha jeto.
So but do you think was any comment mendi if other parties gave the same comment maybe in their social media platforms, do you think they will come into terms?
Ndefe other parties ya deal even though it's not the same among clear me atin nanko other party ya deal wala nyinti along lawyer double kole ni UDP man lead but in party leader dol ko amanke coming mim big ta wala be lead.
Yes, but that's very fine. So
this pause no la position
ni already talk about coalition ni atara man agree kon kada party lead coalition fon ko bita independent coalition la wo same party yorre nyaawonya alors que parti damal
ani but more sense entente foi ko le kata wala ba
sa fi man ko yoro
exactly
sa ka fi man ko yoro Usainu Sudin come up with this comment kaje ko ni United Democratic Party ma lead do mantra do ko ni kon because comment sol mo before na franyima
nga wala nang ko ngaw position no understand mol me yofo they also make sense probably it could have been better said moment tambe mistake wala it could have been better said but nta ka jibe nyame nta ka je nyame wala nyinti it was just on harmful declaration of the party's position
harmful
towards because nta ka je coming he was just making it clear coming the party is the biggest party and under normal circumstances it will lead.
What do you think for Lamin to
yeah, probably you timing
is very important.
Aning na niya jibe fanang na space nim fanang benyameng I would say probably
cool. Because
I would say probably
little damalo doesn't you understand no men when we go back to our military we understand now so ninto damal agree that already ni agreement no fundira nambanda then nemita no prien ton abe koleala but alon ko denin minawo to ko jama leka fo koma sako ni moli comment sol mi kaji ko ning molbe coalition ko to wade usin leka block to sanga ma do fo ene nu jang ko mo jama ba fo kan ko 2016 nu ni Arthur Hussein was in jail coalition nyin te succeed la yalla mo fo ene nu so ning atna funtina in this comment si badi last election of I think ko dise me nga wole mo al no ko nim party mel lafte minal eli to lukan. You understand? So in this election fanang ida de coalition court ayo kuma sifal narrative sifal kamana abe mol mun la komal anda mol dan la kolal men yalan ko mol be wole foga
like I said nte am UDP for UDP ngalo the UDP they are capable of defending themselves and then debunking those kind of narratives but what I don't think that narrative is anything to go that is anything that can sink because ibalandi kamina kan come namandar no prison coalition or kala katung
because I comment sifal men di last election on I comment
inyanta men understand is that UDP has always been the second biggest in this country.
Yes, but do you think that matters?
Yes,
it matters in terms of there are some circumstances but on other parts it doesn't matter because ning
party juma
ning ko sa mbida independent coalition on jang atamara ning ko party led coalition da yin ko party ning party ba lead.
Okay, sir.
When there independent coalition, you individual will lead.
As a meaning independent coalition or criteria of selecting
killings, it be design from your party position. So jani wo kasa mi tayele ko party be lead kan mbajele ko individual be lead kan so se keno momo
okay saying let us even come back to the party the independent led form or individual led al ngana woto hani saying form ibajela ibe murunna nol to koteke saying individual led coalition oji mine be kala criteria for selecting the candidates
that will be based on the agreements
mbe wala bari mimna ita fe mine nyanta kala criteria
that will left for them. But killing fembe tara gelmi alon kuno ya because people they don't come out with anything happen ko agita wala follow but killing be jmal ko ngol and that is a certain moment you resign from your position position so jenni wakila party be ka jil ko okay yam mo killing party man mo lead kan individual mo lead kan comme me kan 2016
okay
ko biring how to call it Adam Barrow bota amanke UDP member de kote Adam Barrow ta fayene ngal ko independent candidate le mal so ning at indara o sifa la say mbajel ko den parti man ko maya ko tek
mbe wala say let's ngata auto fang say bidi ning mo be resign de la parti to say mo be kata independent not say
no mo be resign na
okay
after the choosing near choose already will be resign
okay near choose mbe wala say mbe choosing dul alto man tambe choosing dul ambe choosing dul alto say wo choosing dul ani mine be kala criteria ti
no, that will be based on the agreement. You only need to phone me na okay, these are the criteria maybe in Jube.
How about say, ebe criteria ta. Ebe muruna na UDP.
How?
Me yatina is that. Me yatina wala nyinti. Nibe coalition of form ka. You are appealing to the majority of the people that do not believe in the government. That is basically it. You are appealing to the majority of people that do not believe
in the ruling government.
But now the majority of Gambians, as per past elections, be UDP or be carte for UDP.
But itaji no fananko doli carte for UDP because imalla fi Adam Barrow man secondal.
Exactly.
So saying ni Adam Barrow man secondal man tarege. Who do you think they will vote for?
Woman, yeah, no sense. That analogy cannot fit in here because Adam Barrow man secondal be jail. Gambia no le mentandi wala nyenti ni Adam Barrow la mansakunda teje mba katre file UDP.
Okay. Say nga sama nante nga jeko. Okay, maybe more live within UDP because yalla ko comment so be di kene fa ka jeko I can vote for UDP ni atal Hussein make flag bearer yalla ko yeko fa moy
ha wo fa kam wala ha
so ida jino lako mo lebi min katina mo ka katre fa UDP but amanke da go sense and niko be atombon nale alon ko UDP mo kin leje ko Hussein Dabot and mo fana baje kan okay mambala mo moy mo lead as a coalition flag bearer boni ar Hussein lemu ndol dar bole jel for example ote
wal mu those are personal individual opinions
even mo til nga ko mayna
I understand but still you will regard them as personal opinions
men dilele jang nin tara nga jube how do you call it UMC right UMC farata UDP de bala ante I believe ko ni tara coalition lo ning ayatara Hussein le lead la ma for UMC mo be bitade or ngalon ko mamit li jabe doyala because wolf bota jele leadership le kam
exactly
so ni mo leadership kam ila mun ne ko basa mala bota men leadership ko aje ko memba te block kam para kana leadership position en soto ikuba mun la ko do you think ko be agree la wala
so that is exactly what I was talking about wala nan ko we need to be honest we need to be truthful we need to know what we want ni one thing we will just go around in circles ngamurun nan not. So coalition talks nyimfo probably abe proceed kanyame amanya natala wanyama. Nde UMC I have my reservations against them. Buko mabo nka safela diata nyama nka fola diata nyame ba on dem wonen dem o kaja fel but men nyande fola nka wo fola nte membira.
Can you mention few?
Na membira wala nyinti ibota UDP nyame manya na bola je wanyama.
Nyade.
Wa mu fennete me yalon ko mal lafi ka kasha bake bari UMC ila party leader the mayor Talib Ahmed Bensouda is a mayor elected through a UDP ticket.
That's right.
So andung aka believe to democracy he's within a party with all these structures but abe party nyintole alafta flag biara sipla which is his right pour kala fi flag biara sip but saying Ab lafta flag bi ara yala dol fanal lafta flag bi ara yala internally ila intra-party politics ya challenge pour kata win jeto ate bota je ako katum kaja fironi nendironi fengol la sia
but from imagine ko se keno resinte le ba moy
every fengo fen se keno resinte pour moy bo patito ndabi nimbe patito ngaje ko min nim patide ni ika rally ika political rally organize nyame fongo lu buka political rally organize ku fa ndakata party to menga political rally organize ku what form decision net personally c'est bono je so momo se reason so no la ka bo party to malam fa understand bari katara party to ka party low party kon party ta la filala wala keta bari ndita back deep into that because that is not very important and it is going to be very individual but coming back to coalition fenko nyimbe menna coming UMC ni UDP la ko nyi coalition ko ni ajibe dro UMC bota UDP le katung ila party leader iko UDP manson ka select but in fact that is not true officially because one among contest a withdraw tale among contest de mol nyanta ko understand le de Talib Ahmed Bensouda di mayor among contest UDP la primaries la
ibo emphasize kana
hani yalo nka jele mol ka fo UDP man Talib select wala na bodaji woman soto de Talib man contest UDP primaries la de UDP la primaries lo ya dabolem Lamin fenke e ka fa nyaade fon Lamin Sane Lamin J Dabo sorry Amadou Sane Lamin J Dabo Bori S Touré ngala wala contest Talib man contest de Talib withdraw tale akaya la candidacy withdraw le katum pa bi nyene be contest kan so birim pa bi UDP na da pa bi select Talib botaji Talib ko miati na bota UDP kaja fironi nendiro siata kan wala right bari UDP man Talib select baliade
okay
so membe je fana
mo gel to figure le
membe je fana it's very true it's going to be very funny for UMC a coalition endorse me along ko UDP be lead la oh funny la because UMC bota UDP le katu
they want the leadership
they want the leadership e mon la fi lawyer Dabo yake lead that so ni lawyer Dabo not emerge as the selected leader for a coalition. Maybe it's a tuno jele maybe now they will change their position because this is now a coalition knowing fully they are an independent movement or body probably it will change but alama falling fana nde afole nde manta muka UMC support nde every time I'm on them on issues but I told everybody nko Talib Ahmed Bensouda is a relevant political actor in this country. You cannot take that away from him. It's all over. Ala party ala movement structure sorry probably it can be even called a political party. They are not just officially registered with the IEC but they have everything that a political party needs. They have mobility, they can reach the masses. They communicate, they hold meetings, they hold rallies, they have bureaus, they have everything.
Yeah, they are really active.
And then they have a sitting mayor as a party leader, so they have everything. They are relevant. So they need to be engaged in any political discussion. Agreed. But they are not in a position to negotiate their way into leading a coalition, science and tenting. All right? You cannot, they are just some months old. Political party, they have history. History not as in community, but history as in numbers, electoral data, and everything. So, ndekai nimba sotole bema, the nyomo ya kaja, party ndingoli yela we negotiate into the coalition, ye kudo negotiate, probably they allow UDP as the biggest party with the biggest numbers or the largest numbers to take the lead for 2026 election of win.
Cool. So was time bandal mem to jamantambi minute lula 5 minutes. So ning aya tara woketa ite buna advisor la UDP kaje ko okay patiol yembulale pour nga lead but fam nyanta hajilale banko ke ni winta na position ndulngal mbodi Lamin already because dolni la patiol mo so yin dolmen mi nani me dame so yewta ni me maso ite si yewat do baro.
No, remember you probably know and a responsibility, part of the responsibilities of a political party is to form a government once elected into office, either, alone or with other parties. So, Ning UDP, make to be selected as the party that is going to lead the coalition 2026. Ala natake winter. Mamira, the coalition agreement from Ibemi Sotala will, allow the UDP to do otherwise. And then Ngamira Fana Mole Bejemialanko, they are distinguished people. All parties, all these party leaders, they are distinguished professionals. They are people that love the country, from Talib Bensouda to Lawyer Dabo to S.R. Fall to Mama Kande to Suaibu Toure to the Keba Madis, to every political leader, Miyalonko, possesses some level of authority. They are distinguished people and they are respectable people. And then Ngamira Tolialo ne Menyanta Kela, Membeteata Bankoto, Membeteata Itolfonga Patito, because they don't understand. Elections is also about survival. Nima Keku towards the 2026 elections. Nick election or Tambita.
Jamal Kafada.
UDP to follow day. If they lose like they use like Kumbo, they it a follow day. It a follow day. But Patil Meyanko Sam as we speak, they don't even have a candidate, a representative in the parliament. Imagine later election lose do lawaka. Yamarete party for bina continue. So it is also about survival. So Patil Nyanto understand that. Party Dolbeje, they need to understand that survival will depends on this elections.
Simply need to understand. Party Dolbeje, you will be killing a lot of win. Party Dolbeje can fall.
Well, and Party Dolbeje will the fall. UMC ngalo netol ila movement of the fall, even beyond 2026. Lawyer Dabo, Jana, UDP to fall. GDC, I cannot tell because GDC, since 2021 election, they have been declining. The monetary representative also every time he be a mole tala, ila presence dal a jita bakel.
APRC not alliance.
APRC not alliance is a relevant. They are relevant body. They are very relevant body. But if final, inyantaka understand the survival all for them too. For them too, survival all. So let all these people come together. Yaje mimbete ada bankoto. Ning coalition tambo ning molam ni ata coming coalition leadership lam ya understand coming tonya mumenti mbe ngadia tonya mumenti mbe dia ngatanya to wala nyinti pati ndingo me yalonko imam moto fonsoto to your name as a party cannot lead a party with representatives in parliament and representatives in the local council wala tonya ha Muhammed abaraka bake yesu jambe ngalon ko wato yin akunto sudiyada and discussion no yin fende melon ko kumayata bakel finally what will be your advice to the youth population towards the 2026 election, if you could make that statement in English or that advice in English? Yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Umar. Thank you for having me. It has been a pleasure to come here, even though I told you I was on exams. That is what I am busy on right now. But my message to the youth of this country has always been clear, and it has always been one thing. I won't tell anybody what to do. I think everybody knows what to do, but what I am going to beg the youth to not do is to be indifferent to matters that have to do with the country. Indifference is something that is very bad. What indifference does to a developing society is that it makes the suffering masses think that what is happening to them is actually natural, when it is in fact things that can be avoided or things that are happening because of our own actions and inactions. So let us not be indifferent to national issues. Let us discuss politics. Let us engage politicians. Let us talk about the things that are happening in this country. Let us hold the government to account. Let us hold the local governments to account. Let us hold our parliamentarians to account. And above all, let us hold ourselves to account. You know, personally, in my, you know, in my lack of wisdom whatsoever that I know about myself, I always ensure I do one thing, and that is to always strive to be better, to be a better version of myself. There are things that I used to do yesterday, I don't do them anymore. And then there are things that I do today, inshallah, if I live to witness tomorrow, I'm not going to do them. So these are the things that every youngster need to be doing. But above all, let us stop being indifferent to national matters. Indifference moro aka banko tinyale yitada banko dol to science and tenting wala youth soul nanata banko kuala ibuka for coming dolla haji tiji ngalo ne frustration olo. Sometimes I try to put myself in other people's shoe. Probably, you know, they have access to come and sit before a camera, you know, and speak. But there are certain people that cannot do that, so they feel that let us just survive. Okay, la point of understand. But they need to understand that was survival mood ni itutaka indifferent to societal issues. Eventually survival model. So survival model, you need to ensure you engage in everything that has to do with how your country is actually governed. So Umar Baraka Bake for having me. I'm very happy.
Someone texted asking that whether isn't this Muhammed Ceesay of Gala? Yeah. So Muhammed Baraka Bake juberal tintu kejay ka fo be baraka ñu ne Muhammed Ceesay ti me alon ko ngarle so tege mbi nyata kam mufla nyam so tege Suleiman lecturer dabo abalu mang hase abaka mo yata na manna be duwale fala sa so jaar kende yalla ñu kamala ning waru nar so wat dulu sa murun nañ jang Muhammed fana be mfere inshallah ning topiko san me alon ko ari wanda pour na yakaja ba communicate la ñu kamala sa so yam because ni ay nga fo ningel kumandi most of the time ngalon ko tulle se jam no yem fo ningeli ya moy andi tulle fana active ta kadiamu mo le fenomenal ko nyande ki understand fennel bi banko min yalon ko tulle si jar non tol as fo ningkewlo nin tol ma jarata jarano la so kamala e advice men di advice le mi yalon ko akum mayatale andu ngesu jam menge fana ngay kondan bakela ba fa la jubelal be ko ala baraka fo ala arba ko tin inshallah baraka